Okay, so there's a big storm bearing down on Rhode Island, and let's be honest, we're all wondering the same thing. To really get a handle on what might be coming our way, we're going to look back. We're going to dive into the state's most legendary storms and see what history can teach us. So that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? You see the forecasts, you hear the warnings, but what does it all really mean? How do we calibrate our expectations for a storm that has the potential to shut everything down? Well, the answer, as it so often does, is hiding in the past. The real story of Rhode Island's winters is written in snow, ice, and wind. By looking back at the huge benchmark storms that have defined this state, we can get the clearest possible picture of what we might be facing. So let's start with the legends. And I'm not just talking about heavy snow, these were genuine historical events. The kind of storms that paralyzed the entire East Coast and are still talked about generations later. Just stop and think about that for a second. An entire week. Can you imagine? No travel, no communication, just you and the snow. This quote from all the way back in the Great Blizzard of 1888, it just perfectly captures the isolating power of a truly historic storm. This wasn't just an inconvenience. It completely stopped life in its tracks. Now, what's so interesting here is putting these two titans side by side. You had 1888. I mean, that storm was a monster on a massive scale. Over 400 fatalities, snowdrifts 50 feet high. Just incredible. Then you jump forward 90 years to the blizzard of 78. While the death toll was lower, its impact right here was so intensely local. This is the one that famously stranded thousands of commuters on the highway and dumped that record 27.6 inches on Providence, a number that still echoes around here today. So what is it that makes these storms so dangerous? It's really easy to get fixated on just the snowfall totals, right? But a true nor'easter is a multi-headed monster. Let's break down what's really going on. So what exactly is a nor'easter? It's not just a big snowstorm. Think of it more like a massive, slow-moving engine of destruction. The name comes from those powerful winds blowing in from the northeast, but its sheer scale is what makes it so formidable. I mean, imagine a storm 1,000 miles wide that can just sit and spin for days, relentlessly pounding the coastline and all the areas inland. And these massive storms bring a whole combination of threats. I like to call them the four horsemen of a nor'easter. You've got hurricane-force winds, crippling ice, major coastal flooding, and of course, that paralyzing snowfall. Each one of those is dangerous on its own, but when they team up, that's when you get a truly catastrophic event. Let's start with the wind. During the blizzard of 78, they clocked gusts at 111 miles per hour. Let that sink in. That is the strength of a Category 2 hurricane. This isn't just wind that's blowing snow around. This is wind that rips down power lines, topples huge trees, and causes actual structural damage. Next up, coastal flooding. In the Great New England Hurricane of 1938, downtown Providence was submerged under a storm tide of 20 feet. You heard that right, 20 feet of water. It's a pretty stark reminder that for a coastal state like Rhode Island, the storm surge from a powerful nor'easter is an absolutely enormous threat. And now for the threat that we so often underestimate, ice. This chart here brilliantly illustrates the danger. Just look at level 3, the part in red. All it takes is a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch of ice, and when you combine that with some decent wind, boom, you're looking at widespread power outages lasting for 1 to 5 days. It really doesn't take much ice at all to cripple the entire grid. All right, so the legends are one thing, but what does a major storm look like in the 21st century? Let's switch gears and look at the modern records to get a more recent benchmark. Okay, so since 1948, T.F. Green Airport has been the official measuring stick for Providence. This data gives us a really clear, unbiased look at just how much snow can fall in a single day in our modern era. Now, take a look at this list of the top 5 single-day snowfalls. You can see the blizzard of 78 is right there near the top with 18 inches. But here's what's really striking. The #1 spot doesn't belong to a storm from decades ago. It happened just recently. 18.8 inches. That's the current all-time single-day record for Providence. And it was set on January 29th, 2022. So yeah, this is not ancient history. The potential for a record-shattering storm is very, very real right now. So after looking at the legends, the science, and the modern data, what are the key lessons? What can we take away for the storm that's on its way? History basically gives us a clear checklist. First, transportation paralysis. The 78 blizzard proved that a storm's timing is absolutely critical. Second, widespread power outages. As we saw, high winds plus even a little bit of ice is a recipe for disaster. Third, coastal flooding. A storm surge that coincides with high tide can be devastating. And finally, don't underestimate the snow totals. We know for a fact that a single storm can still deliver a record-breaking punch. Ultimately, this history isn't meant to scare us, it's meant to prepare us. Rhode Islanders have weathered these storms for centuries. There's a deep resilience here, but it's a resilience that's born from a healthy respect for just how powerful these winter storms can really be. The ghosts of winters past have told their stories. They've shown us what's possible when the wind howls and the snow starts to fly. The patterns are there, the warnings are clear. The only question that remains is, are we listening?